context. However, if you have questions, feel free to ask me these questions in Norwegian. I'll be happy to answer it. I'll probably use a mix of Norwegian and English. And if I'm talking too fast, just go like this, and I'll catch you, and I'll slow down. A few things that I want to say about Nordic Semiconductor. This actually go over to. Oh, oops. I think we need a new presentation out of that. Great. Excellent. Yeah. A couple of things that I just want to say about Nordic Semiconductor. First of all, thank you for Nordnet for inviting me over to speak. Thanks for all of you for coming to this conference. What I want to say is this. I think we're in the middle of something incredibly exciting. In the very near future, you're going to be using this, your smartphone, to interact with devices and homes and buildings, things all around you in completely new and unique ways. This is running through wireless technology and embedded processing technology, which is going to make devices all around you be able to activate new types of functions and interact with you. Much of this is going to be going on through the smartphone. You can see new products out there, new sensors out there, which are interacting with each other in completely new and unique ways. And all of this is just getting off the ground right now. The name of this trend in the technology industry is called the Internet of Things. And it's widely seen as one of the biggest trends in technology today. Now, one of the core wireless standards, which is driving the Internet of Things, is a new wireless standard that Nordic Semiconductor has been involved from the very origin in developing. Back when it was a partnership between us and Nokia, it started all the way back in 2005. And that's a new wireless standard called Bluetooth Smart, sometimes called Bluetooth Low Energy. What Bluetooth Smart does is it allows you to create very small, very low power consumption chips at very low cost, which can connect with the universe of billions of Bluetooth devices. Now at a much lower level of power consumption than what was traditionally available through Bluetooth technology. So what it allows you to do is it allows you to embed very small wireless chips in all kinds of new devices to allow you to control, receive information, or allow these devices to interact with each other to create a whole new range of functionalities and products all around you. As I mentioned, this is one of the biggest trends in technology. Now, Nordic Semiconductor, as I mentioned, we've been involved from the very beginning in developing this new wireless standard called Bluetooth Smart. In fact, we've been appointed chairman of the board of the entire Bluetooth organization. Over 20,000 member companies. We sit on the board of directors with Apple. We sit on the board of directors with Microsoft, Nokia, biggest name at LG, biggest names in consumer electronics, software, mobile telephony, which are sitting on the board of Bluetooth. Nordic Semiconductor is chairman of the board of the entire Bluetooth organization. And it's been based on our contribution in developing this brand new wireless standard called Bluetooth Smart. So with this market taking off, as we see embedded wireless now being implemented in all kinds of new products, with this new wireless standard Bluetooth Smart, which is driving this trend upwards, and with our position in Bluetooth Smart, we have an extremely good position going forward. So these are the main points that I wanted to talk to you about. I want to give a little bit of background on our company, what we do with ultra-low power wireless solutions. Talk about how this market is changing, how embedded wireless is now moving into all kinds of new products, allowing you to interact with them, much of which is going on through the smartphone. And then what this means for Nordic going forward. But first, a couple of things, just a quick introduction to our company. We're the market leader in a niche of the semiconductor industry, which is still relatively small, but it's growing very rapidly. And this niche is called ultra-low power wireless solutions. These are battery-powered wireless solutions that can operate for up to years of battery life on AA, AAA, or point cell batteries. And we sell these chips in huge volumes. Last year we sold 200 million wireless solutions. And we have a dominant market position in the first product categories to adopt this class of technology. The first product categories to adopt ultra-low power wireless solutions. First of all, I want to thank Nordnet because they gave me a lot of examples right around here. Wireless mice and wireless keyboards, and Nordic is in this device. Nordic is in this device. Nordic is in this device. So I have three, I didn't bring any of these here, and I had three of our chips right in front of me when I came up to present right here. We have a dominant market position in wireless mice and wireless keyboards. and other types of these wireless interaction with the PC. We would estimate we have about a 60% market share. We sell to the largest vendors in this market: Logitech, Microsoft, Lenovo, Dell, HP, a whole range of PC manufacturers. We sell our wireless solutions to connect devices wirelessly from a controlling device like a keyboard or a mouse to a PC. So this is the first market that really adopted our class of technology, and we have a dominant market position in this area today. We're also in wireless wearable electronics for sports, fitness, and health monitoring. Products you might use like heart rate monitors to capture information from your body, or wrist-worn activity sensors to capture information from your body, and be tracking you when you're out doing sports, when you're just out in everyday life. It's even being implemented in new medical devices. And here we sell to the major manufacturers in this segment. We sell to companies like Garmin, Polar, Suunto, shoe companies like Nike, Adidas, New Balance, watch companies like Casio and Timex, gym companies like Technogym, and new types of fitness tracking electronics companies that are getting really big in the US and are just starting to move internationally. Companies like Fitbit, companies like Jog-On, using our technology for taking body-worn information and transmitting it to a watch or phone or other receiving device about the movements or about any kind of metrics on your body. These are the first two product categories to adopt our class of technology. This has brought us up to 200 million units per year. We're also moving into a whole range of other new products, and much of this is driven by this new wireless standard that I've been telling you about, called Bluetooth Smart, which allows very low-cost wireless solutions to interact with a base of billions of smartphones, tablets, PCs, cars, any device which is integrated in Bluetooth technology can now be interacting with very low power consumption to a small embedded wireless solution connecting all kinds of new devices. So this is where we are today, and this is where we come from. I just want to say a little bit more about our organization. For selling 200 million units, you might think that we'd have to be a very big organization, but that's not the way we're organized. We're only 230 people. And the reason why we can do this is we focus on design of wireless solutions. And we design solutions that can be used across a whole range of products. So the same platforms that are used in this are also used in devices that are going to be worn on your body for wearable electronics, toys, other types of devices all around you. We're using the same platforms. And in addition, we outsource all manufacturing, so we don't have to have factories. We outsource it to contract manufacturers of semiconductors in Asia. The biggest one in the world is called TSMC, primary foundry. We're also outsourcing direct distribution activities. So all of the logistics and warehousing around getting out 200 million units all across the world is taking place through a global network of electronics distribution companies, including the biggest names in the industry like Avnet and Era, which are now transporting us. So it allows us to have a business model where we can be very lean, we can be 230 people, design world-class wireless solutions, and then have them manufactured by our subcontractors and distributed globally by our distributors without having to build a very large organization or consume a lot of capital expenditures. So it gives us a very scalable business model. Now, I've been talking about ultra-low power wireless solutions, so why don't I talk a little bit more about what do I really mean? When I say an ultra-low power wireless solution, take a device like this. It can transmit information, it can transmit controls over a range of about 10 to 30 meters, or a keyboard or a mouse or something like this, up to about 10 to 30 meters. But it can do this with very long battery life. Talking about, again, up to, for example, for these devices, years of battery life with the AA, AAA, or point cell batteries and power source. And we pioneered this market. We were the first ones into this market. Back in 2002, we launched a brand new wireless solution that could handle this in a way with much lower power consumption than had been done before. You might not realize this, but actually over at MTNU in Trondheim, there is tremendous research which is recognized globally in the area of wireless. And we've seen very many companies that are coming out of this area with research that have been done in wireless in this area that are now getting a lot of attention in the industry. Just to say a couple of them, I'm going to back up a little bit here. I talk about this as being the Silicon Fjord because there's so much going on in Norway when it comes to embedded wireless technologies. So when I go to the US and I talk to them about this, I say there's a lot of things going on here in Norway. There's ourselves. Texas Instruments bought a Norwegian company called Chipcon, which is also doing this area of technology. Back in 2006, they spent $200 million for a relatively small company. Silicon Labs bought a company called Energy Micro last year in the Oslo area for $170 million. This company had barely any revenue. It had about $5 million in revenue when they were bought last year. So, I mean, it just shows the level of interest that's in this area. Then you have other areas which are similar: thin film, doing printed circuits for the Internet of Things. Nordic Semiconductor, which is, founded the core microcontroller group. The microcontrollers are processing information in these devices. A group of Norwegians that are based up in Trondheim, up from NTNU, now working for Nordic Semiconductor in this area. ARM, Hittite Microwave, they're also working with Norwegian teams to developing their solutions in this area. So there's a lot of technology research going on in Norway in this Internet of Things or embedded wireless technology. Anyway, so when I talk about this, when I talk about what do I mean by ultra-low power wireless solutions, when we entered this market back in 2002, you could look at short-range wireless solutions in two different clusters of products. On the one hand, you have products like an old infrared remote control. This was also on the table here from Nordnet. Thanks for that prop when I present. Here, I mean, what you use to turn on and off your television set or something like this. This transfers very little data, but uses very little power. However, if you start pressing the buttons quickly or try to do anything complicated on this device, you're going to overload this device, and it's extremely unreliable. Sometimes you have to try a few times to actually get these devices to work. But this is what you had on one end of the market, and these were the infrared solutions or low-frequency radios you might use to open a car door or a garage door. And on the other end of the market, you had Wi-Fi, great for streaming video, great for browsing the web on a mobile device, but consumes a ton of power. For Bluetooth solutions, which could transfer high-fidelity audio, but also consumed a ton of power. And there was a gap in the middle. There was a gap for complex sensors, take a wireless mouse, complex controls that you were seeing in more and more types of electronics, but there was nothing that really was designed for this kind of technology. Take this wireless mouse. When I move this mouse around, I'm sending transmissions on direction and speed about 60 to 80 times a second. Now, I mean, this is not browsing the web, this is not streaming video, but it's a moderate amount of data, and it's far more than what you could ever do with this. It's far more than what you could do with a low-frequency radio, sending information about 60 to 80 times a second. But there was no wireless solution that was designed for these kinds of controls. So this is the market that we targeted. We took a 2.4 gigahertz radio, same frequency as Wi-Fi, the same frequency as Bluetooth, but our engineers, based on some PhD research they had done in Trondheim, and we brought and continued to develop over at Nordic, designed a solution which could take this frequency and bring it down to extremely low levels of power consumption by sending information in very rapid bursts. But then when it was not bursting information, to drop down into a sleep mode and wake up and burst and go back down into the sleep mode. But if you look at the life of and the use of the product, it would almost always be asleep. It would just wake up for extremely rapid bursts and then go back down to sleep. And in doing this, you could extend the battery life for up to years of battery life, but still transmit in moderate amounts of data. So this is what we did that was unique. We were the first ones into this market, and I hope there's some other slides here. Was that it? Was there an error in transmitting this? Other than that, I can. Sorry about some slides, but was there nothing else there?
I think so.
Oh, there must have been an error in that. Because I had that on mine. I think you had this file. Let me just keep talking. I can do it without slides this one. I had 39 slides, so there must be those slides. Just keep going. There we go. Yeah, because great. Control. Sure. Control. I'm sorry. I'll just do this time. Okay. So. So anyway, we launched this first generation wireless solution back in 2002. At this time, we were still a small consultancy. We were dealing with just doing consulting work to primarily industrial companies. We launched this product, and by 2005, our revenue quadrupled. It was very clear. We started getting interest in companies like Logitech, like Garmin. It's very clear we were onto something which was really unique. And so we divested. We got out of our consulting business. We sold out what we were doing in data controllers. We decided to put all of our research into wireless. And we continued to grow this business, and then in 2009 we had a breakthrough product come to the market. Here we produced our first very low-cost system on chip. When I say a system on chip, it was not only a wireless solution, but it integrated the processor, it integrated memory, it integrated software, all on a single chip. And so you wouldn't, as a designer, you wouldn't have to integrate a lot of different components on your circuit board. You could run everything on a single chip solution, and we could make this product in a very, very, very low cost. And that was the tipping point. From 2009 to 2010, we more than doubled our revenue. We took a dominant position in wireless mice and wireless keyboards. We took a dominant position in sports and health monitors. But by 2010, about 70% of our revenue was coming from wireless mice and wireless keyboards. We were moving into other areas, but we were tremendously exposed to the PC market. And in 2010, the PC market started going into deep decline. So while we've been driving into new growth areas, starting in 2010, our revenue began to fall because of pressure on the PC business. It came down, and our PC revenue fell by about $30 million. Our total revenue fell by close to $20 million. But what we were doing is we were expanding into brand new areas, and we were doing this through a new technology that we've been involved in developing with Nokia that eventually became called Bluetooth Smart. Now this is off. Now this is running. In Q4, we were growing 29% year over year. In Q1, we grew about 27% year over year. And the outlook for the rest of this year and going on for many years looks very strong as we start moving to a whole range of products. So let me now just tell you a little bit about what we're doing and what this means when I talk about wireless moving to new products and what this means with Bluetooth Smart. What we're seeing is we're seeing wireless solutions that are embedded in all kinds of new products around you. And this is happening for a variety of reasons, but this enables you to do many new things. It enables you to control devices remotely, for example, through your mobile phone, to secure or identify different people around you through the use of devices around you through the use of your mobile phone or any type of wireless device, to monitor your health, to monitor your family, to monitor your living environment through sensors around you on the mobile phone, to receive targeted information to you based on sensors in the room connected directly to your mobile phone, making things more convenient and creating new types of gaming through the use of wireless technology. This is what's called the Internet of Things, and it's widely seen as one of the most important trends in technology today. What's driving the Internet of Things, actually, we talk about the Internet of Things as being one big trend, but actually it's several trends which have now come together and are now creating a big new growth area of technology. It's mobile computing. We all carry around with us all the time these super powerful computers. You don't think about it as a computer, but this is far more powerful of a computer than what people were using for real computing back in the 1990s. And we carry this around with us every day. And so this huge growth of smart computers that we carry around with us all the time is something which has really taken off over the last few years. It's the ability to create extremely low power processing and sensor technology and build this into all kinds of devices around you, which has just taken place over the last several years. And now it's the ability to connect these smart computers that we carry around with us that are now sold over 1 billion units per year of these smartphones with the nodes around you through ultra-low power wireless technology. It's apps, because when you connect these devices, you need to have something running on your machine which knows what to do with this information. And it's this whole app ecosystem which has exploded over the last 5 years, which is also driving this trend. Then it's cloud computing, that you can be downloading brand new functionalities to your phones on a moment's notice. You can be capturing information from sensors around you and transmitting that information to the cloud so you can access that information in the cloud on a moment's notice. And if you combine these smart computers, these extremely low-cost processors and sensors around you, the ability to connect these devices at very low cost and very low power, the ability for apps to understand what all of this is doing, and the ability of the cloud to be storing this information and handling this information so you can be accessing on the cloud, this is what's coming together for the Internet of Things. It's a variety of 5 of the biggest trends in technology over the last 6 or 7 years. They're now combining to create the Internet of Things. Now, as I mentioned, Bluetooth Smart technology is emerging as the standard for connecting extremely low power consumption chips with smartphones. What is Bluetooth Smart? Well, Bluetooth Smart it uses the Bluetooth chips that are already found in phones, TVs, PCs, cars, tablets, these kinds of devices that people are already buying. And it's a new compatible way you can design extremely low cost, very low power sensor technology that can communicate with these phones. So you can build on an ecosystem of the devices that people already have with them. And it's a compatible technology which allows you to capture wireless information from all the other devices. The story itself behind Bluetooth Smart is very interesting. Back in, I mentioned that Nordic was a pioneer in this area of ultra-low power wireless technology starting off back in 2002, and then we really saw things taking off by 2005. But back in 2005, Nokia contacted us because Nokia took a really strong interest in what we were doing with this very low power consumption wireless technology that our engineers in Toronto had developed. What Nokia saw was this. Nokia had a leading position in the mobile phone industry at the time. But Nokia saw that eventually, the mobile phone market was going to become saturated. There was going to be a limit to how many new mobile phones they could sell in the marketplace. And so they wanted to make a big push into mobile accessories. And they communicated a vision to investors, they communicated a vision internally, where Nokia wanted to go from being a company that sold 5 phones for every accessory to selling 5 accessories for every phone that they sold in the marketplace. But to make this happen, they needed a wireless technology that would be very low cost, that could run on ordinary AA, AAA, or coin cell batteries, but would be extremely flexible so it could be used in all kinds of new products, but still be compatible with Nokia phones. In short, they were looking for exactly what we were doing with our ultra-low power wireless solutions. Low cost, very low power consumption wireless solutions that were very flexible. So in 2005, Nokia contacted us, and they asked us to design an architecture on how we could connect our chips to their phones. And what we saw was this. We were working with 2.4 gigahertz technology. Nokia already had a 2.4 gigahertz radio on nearly every phone that they sold, and that was the Bluetooth radio. If we could reprogram their Bluetooth chips inside the Nokia mobile phones to understand radio signals from our own chips, we could design an ecosystem that would not add cost to the Nokia phones and enable it to speak with a whole new range of different products. Sure, this would be a way for Nokia to achieve their vision without adding cost to their phones. Nokia loved the idea. In fact, they liked it so much that they called in their Bluetooth vendors to get going on a project immediately, and then they took it to the Bluetooth organization, and they said that this new way of programming Bluetooth to speak with devices that would work, with Nordic types of chips, this new language that we were working with, let's make this a whole new Bluetooth standard. And Nokia had such influence in the Bluetooth business and had such influence in the mobile phone industry at the time that the Bluetooth organization decided to adopt this technology. And it took some years to get it finally released, but it was released in 2010 as Bluetooth Low Energy or Bluetooth Smart technology. This is what we're talking about now. So it really took our ability to influence Nokia, and then Nokia strengthened the industry to turn this into what we've been doing with ultra-low power wireless into a brand new wireless standard. Now the sad news for Nokia is by 2010 Nokia was in sleep. The smartphones had come out and Nokia simply did not have an answer and was too slow in responding to smartphones. The good news for the whole initiative, the good news for Bluetooth Smart is Apple became extremely interested in what we were doing with Bluetooth Smart. What Apple saw was that everything that Nokia had seen about how you could connect phones to all kinds of new devices around you was far more relevant now with smartphones, with the iPhones or the smartphones that were out in the marketplace, than Nokia could ever have achieved with their feature phones. When you think about it, you could not invent a more perfect device for interacting with the world around you than a smartphone. I mean, it's already sold in huge volumes. Today there's over 1 billion smartphones that are sold every year. It's personal, you have it on all the time, you carry it everywhere. It's perfect for interacting with the world around you. It's got a great screen for receiving information, it's got a great touch interface or gyroscope for controlling other devices. It's got a super powerful processor, as I mentioned, much stronger than the PCs that were sold in the 1990s. It offers completely easy access at will, on demand, to download whatever application you want to have on the phone. So if you want to interact with something, you can have software on your device instantaneously, which knows what to do with this information. And it's connected to the cloud. And Apple saw all of this and saw that this is now, basically Nokia had gifted them a wireless standard that would be perfect for connecting with the iPhones. So Apple took this and began rolling out Bluetooth Smart technology, or the support for Bluetooth Smart, in all of their iPhones, starting with the iPhone 4S in 2011, all of the iPads starting in 2012, and all of the Macs. And afterwards, Microsoft followed and provided native support for Bluetooth Smart, starting with Windows 8. And finally, last year, Google followed by providing native support for Bluetooth Smart in the Android operating system. So now we have the Bluetooth chips, and now we have the Bluetooth chips we're not in. I mean, these are completely different solutions, but they need to be Bluetooth 4.0. They need to be able to understand Bluetooth smart technology. And now we have the support from all of the major vendors inside their devices so that we can be communicating with their devices. This is how the business took on. So it started with Nokia, and then it went on to Apple, and now it's spread throughout the industry. And this is what's enabling us to do this. As I mentioned, we were appointed chairman of the board of the entire Bluetooth organization based on our contribution developing the standard. We've been on the board of directors since 2011. We've been chairman since 2012. We serve on the board with Apple, Ericsson, Intel, Lenovo, Microsoft, Motorola, Nokia, Toshiba, LG, and CSR. Huge vendors in mobile telephony and software and consumer electronics. And we serve as chairman of the board of a group of over 20,000 members. So what's happening today is this is the next generation of apps. The first generation of apps were things you download to your phone to get information from the cloud. You could, access weather. You could access stock prices on your Nordnet app. You could be taking a photograph and posting it to your Instagram account or to your blog. These are the types of things you could be doing, but very simple transactions between your phone and your cloud. Now it's your phone and devices all around you. So now it's a completely new type of interaction, which is going on through wireless. I think, one of the moments which was really interesting for us, we've seen awareness. This is a pretty obscure area even a year and a half ago. And over the last year, it has just absolutely exploded. And things we've been talking about for the last